Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. The deciding frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
O'Sullivan's break-off shot fails to find the baulk cushion.
Well, he's given us plenty of thought. He's Mark Selby. I think he's going to take the pot on, that's for certain. He just wondered how he can make it so the only red he leaves is the one he's playing. So that was a screw back to baulk, and he's a little unlucky to have left the red. That's what he was thinking. If I screw back to baulk, if I don't get the pot, it should be safe. But when they rattle the jaws like that, you never know where they're going to finish. Ronnie will have to trust to luck here for position. He may just go all out and hit it thin and just career into all the other reds here. And trust to luck for position. And it could have worked out better than that. Okay, there may be a chance of this black to the right middle, but boy, it's tricky. Particularly in a deciding frame. Nothing comes that easy.
No backing off.
What a brave shot that was. To play it at that pace, and he just caught the near jaw, but just enough to take it in.
Nine.
Now, if he's got the right angle on this black, he can pop the black and maybe nudge the red just, well, it looks okay. Nudge the red to the left of the black into a pottable position. Played it with pace, knew that he'd always have the red to the middle. And being on this red to the left corner is a bonus.
16. $17. $24. $25.
Decided to play for this tricky red along the top cushion.
32.
Played it well.
Packed arena here at Telford, where the crowds have been very good all week.
Played the cannon and it's worked out in perfect.
40.
That's 5 reds and 5 blacks.
41.
get the financials out of the way. £25,000 for a maximum, £5,000 for the highest break.
$49. $56. $57.
Well, Selby not expecting to get another shot in this match.
Yes, it was just the break-off shot. He was tempted into... Well, he didn't have any other
64.
shot but the long red. He missed it. It didn't run safe, and this is the result.
65.
And after this black, one more red, and that will be the end of Mark Selby's challenge. But he certainly proved here this week that that runners-up spot,
72.
the Crucible, last May, was no fluke. But what can you do sometimes against the genius of Ronnie O'Sullivan? Still a chance at the maximum. Unbelievable.
80. 81.
If O'Sullivan can complete the maximum, he would equal Stephen Hendry's record of 8 in competition.
88. 89.
Until this frame, this hadn't been one of O'Sullivan's greatest
96.
performances.
97.
Though certainly one of his grittiest. Is he going to finish with a touch of greatness?
Absolutely magnificent.
104.
And a nice angle on this red to keep this break going.
105.
And if anyone ever has any doubts, this lays to rest. If you don't think this man's got the heart for the battle, he's proved it today. He's had to dig in at times, and now this would be the icing on the cake.
112. 130. 120. 122.
O'Sullivan trailed 3-0, 4-1, 6-3 and 7-5.
125. 129.
But he's finishing like the virtuoso he is.
134. 140.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Ronnie O'Sullivan beats Mark Selby by 9 frames to 8, making his 8th 147 maximum in competition in the deciding frame.
Absolutely mesmerising. What a performance from Ronnie O'Sullivan to clinch that final frame. Absolutely unbelievable. Steve, you've made some total clearances in your time in final frame deciders. Can you even believe what that feels like? Can you imagine thinking what that feels like?
What an amazing thing happened there. I mean, it's not the first time that it's been done. Stephen Hendry did it, but not in such a big occasion. You don't need me. None of the snooker fans watching need me to tell you how good that was, how great that was. All I would say on behalf of snooker fans is that possibly we've got the greatest genius currently in our sport. I don't think there's another genius in the world producing what Ronnie O'Sullivan does on the snooker table. Can't tell you how hard that was. Amazing. You
know, there is a danger that maximum could overshadow the performance of actually winning the match. 3-0 and 6-3 behind. And in terms, really, of what he's achieved, what does it say about his personality and his heart tonight, Steve?
A year ago, he wouldn't have been able to have done that, but he dug deep and he gave himself the chance.
Absolutely, he did. I think we can now hear from Ronnie and Mark in the interview room.
I was struggling so much. I just thought, what's happened, you know? And it's just typical, you know, of what I'm on about. You know, in my last match, I felt great, cueing good. Not felt great as in, you know, in myself, just in my technique. And I had the cue ball nearly on a bit of string. And then today, it was just kind of, I was like getting out of position by 1.5 foot, 2 foot. And it was just like, in the end, I was just like, you know, what's going to happen next, you know? And, you know, so I just wanted to get through the game. Whether I won or lost, I just wanted to get through the game feeling a bit sane. And I didn't feel too clever during the game. I thought, oh, you know, so by about 6-4, I felt all right. I thought, oh, you know, if I can finish the match off feeling like this, then it won't be so disappointing, you know, whether you win or lose, because you don't want to kind of, you know, whether I lost today, it wouldn't, you know, you just don't want to ruin it for your next tournament, you know, and just kind of in a vicious circle. So it was important I tried to stay up.
Yeah, a little disappointed, because I feel as though I controlled the match all the way through, really. I mean, I got to 7-5 in front, and I think the turning point was I was in the balls and I've gone to pot a red into the corner just to get a cannon on another red to stay on the black. And I didn't get the cannon, and obviously didn't get on the black, and had to play safe, and from there it seemed to just turn around.
I was counting the dots on a spoon. There's 108 dots on either side of the spoon. There's like little dots around the edge, so I was just counting them, and I was going backwards, and then I was doing them in 2s, and I was doing them in 3s. So that was my little mental exercise to keep me in there, because I was just like, oh.
I've gone for the long red, and unfortunately for me, I managed to endure it, which was obviously the aim other than potting it, and it's happened to go over the corner pocket, and then from there it was history, really. But a great finish to a great match.
I've had great, you know, support here this week, and I want to thank them, you know, because they've been fantastic. So you know, I've, you know, it's nice, you know, it's good. I thank them, and you know, it's nice to be able to have little 147s like that, and put on little shows, because you know, I do give myself an hard time when I don't play too great, so I don't get the joys out of playing. So at least I had a joy out of a 147, so they're happy. Punters are happy on TV, so I've had my little bit. I've done my little bit for the game, you know. So yeah.
Ronnie, you've done more than your little bit for the game, my son. In terms of maxims that we've seen, where does that rank in the history of 147 breaks?
I think you probably have to say that's the greatest ever 147 break we've seen. There's been different situations, but obviously I'm going to go out and buy a spoon with dots on it. I didn't have one at home. About the break, just a couple of moments. I mean, the first black that Ronnie O'Sullivan potted was by no means a certainty. It was a very tricky black into the middle pocket, and we see it again here. It just goes to that near jaw, and for a second I thought he'd missed it, and it just wobbled. It just had enough pace on it, or less pace on it, to actually go in. It was a lot of hard work to do to get into the 147 situation, but there was one critical moment when all of a sudden he opened the balls. He potted this black. He could have been forgiven for not going into the pack, but you know he does always. The moment he potted that black and opened the reds up, it was match over, but it still had to be 147. Quite incredible. The crowd watched an amazing match full of grit and determination, but then they got that reward at the end.